Okay. Alright, chat. There's a pre-made Star Wars film tier list. First up, Phantom Menace. Wait, no, that's Attack of the Clones.
I'm ready to be furious.
Attack of the Clones, C tier.
What? Really?
Actually, B tier.
Oh, really?
A lot of stuff with Obi-Wan, really good. Yoda kicking ass after 30 years, fucking awesome. Introduced us to Dooku, really fun character. We start to see the slow descent for Anakin. All in all, it's not bad. I'd put it higher if it weren't for the love story that takes up half the movie. But I think the rest of it's really good. Obi-Wan on Kamino, some of my favorite stuff in the saga. Whole thing's great. Empire Strikes Back, Asteroid Belt, S tier. Next question. Force Awakens. Hey, you know New Hope? Great. Anyway, I'm gonna put that in. Actually, we'll put that in B tier as well.
Can we just rip the band-aid off and say that Last Jedi is in Q tier?
Last Jedi's in D tier, which we'll be renaming to Last Jedi. Ah, shit. My face is in the way. Hang on. What was it to move multiple things at once? Was it shift click or... Yeah.
Bro, have you used the computer before?
Stop. Okay, I will make my arguments for these now. Force Awakens, it's alright. It's pretty good. There's a lot of stuff in it that's not very unique. It is largely a retelling of Episode 4. I think a lot of people think that's fine. And I don't...
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna go grab something real quick. When I return, I will rate your ratings.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
I don't necessarily have a problem with any of them. I don't necessarily have a problem with Force Awakens being a large rehash of 4, but it's held back by not doing things more original. Last Jedi I don't like, because everyone's fucking dumb for no reason. Characters we've seen to be smarter are dumb. Luke, I never give up Skywalker, throws everything away after a bad 5 minutes, and no one uses their words. It's everyone is dumb. It's antithetical to what Star Wars is for the most part. It's dumb and bad. New Hope, high B tier. Nah, New Hope, A tier. Kicks it all off. Great story. It's got beginning, middle to end. It's the perfect
How
example.
angry am I about to be?
Not very yet, I think.
I was gonna say, if you fucking put Episode 4 on the same area as Episode 2, yeah. I'm gonna tell.
It's pretty good. New Hope started everything off. It's got a perfect 3-act structure. Leaves little crumbs for you to want more, like Darth Vader flying off. But for the most part, everything is resolved peacefully by the end. Heroes get their medals. It's a great time. Episode 1.
Ooh, where are you putting this one? Actually, can you screen share to Discord for me?
Episode 1. Chances to B.
Episode 1? I'd argue
Let's see. Hang on.
anywhere between A and C.
How
for different
long
reasons.
is the pod race scene? 9 minutes? Great, that's 10 minutes too long. We're going to C tier.
Oh, no! Dude, the pod racing was good. Put it in B.
Oh. I like episode 1 a lot. See, for Jar
Do
Jar...
you? You put it in C.
No, hear me out. I like a lot of episode 1. I think Otto Gunga, cool town. I like seeing Sheev start to put the pieces together. It's pretty neat. Darth Maul, everything about him is great. The last like half hour of that movie's perfection. Slight spoilers, but
For a 1999 movie.
no, for the Internet Movie Show banger video I've been talking about.
Okay.
But a lot of it hinges on the Phantom Menace, which I genuinely do think contains the perfect Star Wars scene. So we're gonna get there. But I just think all of the shit on Tatooine holds it back from being greater. Plus, like there's so many. Maybe it is B.
I'm gonna
say lowest of B.
Okay, I'm gonna say B, because I think that honestly, my thing with movies is I don't nitpick like types of scenes, if that makes sense. And I know you're not doing that, but what I mean is like you need to have a good amount of action and a good amount of downtime. I'm personally a huge fan of downtime and character moments in between action. Like that's kind of my bread and butter, because I like to see characters that have really good characters.
No, I like that too.
Interact.
I think that's good. I just
And
don't
I think
Phantom
we see
Menace.
a lot.
We
I
see
think
a lot
we see a
of it.
lot in episode 1 on Tatooine. Like
do,
you
I
have a
just
cool
don't-
action scene with the race.
I just don't
and
think
then
it's always done well. And
I mean, it's your list. You can do it. I'm just saying that I personally would put it in B if this was my list.
the more I think about it, the harder I find it to justify C. But I think I'm gonna put as the gatekeeper. If
The
it's
gatekeeper of B.
yeah, you have to beat. It's the bouncer. You have to beat Phantom Menace to come in.
I'm just imagining that meme of the guy letting someone into like the room, and like it's just a guy dressed as a bouncer letting someone into just like a normal room of a house, but it's instead he's just replaced with Phantom Menace.
Return of the Jedi.
Oh, we're getting questionable here.
It's also going B, I think.
Okay.
Because the Ewoks are pretty stupid, but effective. Most of the stuff on Endor...
But so are the Gungans. So yeah, it should be in B.
Most of the stuff on Endor is really cool, but too much of it is overridden by comedy, which is why it's not harder or higher. But everything with Jabba at the beginning is great, and everything with Luke in the last half hour is great. It's just the Endor shit in the middle that I'm not huge on.
I think the Endor stuff is interesting. It's interesting that they didn't go a direction like they could have easily made it a direction or taken the direction where it's like we gotta convince the Ewoks to join our cause because the Empire is evil. No, they just do it because 3PO told them to.
Yeah.
Like they don't have a reason to do it other than the big gold guy told us to. Like
That's fair.
So like they easily could have done like made it cheap where it's like the galaxy has to band together to take down the Empire, which it did happen, but not for that reason. It's just that they were told by their supposed god.
Right.
So I think that's a very interesting way of doing it.
God, just looking at Last Jedi down there made me think, man.
Are we gonna have any C's?
There's gonna be one.
Like, I was gonna say, is Last Jedi so far down that nothing will come even close to it?
No. All right. Rogue One, S tier.
Yeah.
I love everything about Rogue One.
Big agree.
Characters are great.
Yeah.
They do.
If the shows were in here, the other thing that would be S tier for me would be Mandalorian.
Yes, if the shows were there,
Like,
I'd put Mando and Clone Wars in S tier.
I'd put
Rebels,
Clone Wars in A.
I would put Rebels.
The first couple seasons.
You know, that's fair. But I feel like what's good in the later seasons is so good that it overpowers that. So I would put Clone Wars in S. Rebels in A. I haven't seen Bad Batch yet. I'd also put Mando in
I
S.
I I have to finish Clone Wars before I watch Bad Batch.
Episode 3, S tier.
Oh, all right. I was thinking A, but all right.
Nope.
Episode 3 does slap. I agree.
It slaps.
I didn't think you were gonna put it in S though. I would, but I
Oh.
didn't know you would.
Everything with Anakin and Obi-Wan on Mustafar, most emotional shit in the entire fucking series. I don't care what anyone says. It's awesome. 3S tier. Yeah, I'm with you, Lack. I think
Remember, Star Wars is good.
yeah. I think the choreography in it is the best it's ever been, and the fact that there's no CG aside from a few flips, and they actually learned all the shit, like Hayden's behind the back grab and twirl. It's so sick.
Mm-hmm.
We get the best of sassy Obi-Wan, but he's not like hostile to Anakin the way he was in Episode 2. He's like mellowed out and just been like a good dude. We get General Grievous.
It's a good transition between Episode 2, Clone Wars, and Episode 3.
It's great.
And Clone Wars serves as a very good transition to the point where coming out of Clone Wars, you can see, or at least the original seasons of Clone Wars, you can see how Obi-Wan became the way he is out of that movie.
Exactly. And everything else about it too, like
also, yes, hello there.
Hello there, yeah. But also like
John whisper in his ear, do it.
I feel like this is just trying to trick me into ASMR, so it's not going to happen.
All right, I'll do it.
No.
General Kenobi.
But yeah, a lot of Episode 3 is really sick. I like it a lot. And it finally shows the tragedy of it. Not the tragedy of Darth Plagueis, but that's also a banger scene that has earned its spot there.
That is a good scene. Like,
But
every scene that's memed is a genuinely good scene. And that's the thing that, like, there's plenty of movies that get memed because they're shit. I genuinely think that people meme Episode 3 exclusively because those are the scenes that are the best.
Yeah, everything.
Like, the Battle of Coruscant, Darth Plagueis, hello there, Anakin versus Obi-Wan.
All the
Oh, Sprin, that's a hot take. We'll get to that one.
We'll get there in a second. But like after a whole trilogy plus 2 other movies about knowing the Jedi fuck it up, and throughout Episode 1 and especially 2, you can see the foundation start to crack, and 3 is where it all comes tumbling down.
The thing is, the Jedi do their job a little too well to the point where they even start to fall for what they are fighting against without realizing it.
Exactly.
And that's the thing, is that the Jedi, a lot of people argue that, like, the Jedi are in a way bad. I personally disagree. I think that what they represent is very good, but their way of going about it is not as effective as it could be, and that's even something that Anakin noticed. He also just went about it the wrong way by going to the dark side.
Without even answering that question myself, because I'm going to in a future video, the fact that Episode 3 opens that conversation and lets that interpretation exist is why it's S tier.
Especially when we have 3 previous movies basically indoctrinating us into believing the Jedi are the perfect good in the universe, and that the building of the Jedi Order is what we should inevitably work towards as
everything,
galaxy, you know?
Yeah,
and
everything.
Now, in 1, 2, and 3, it starts to be like, maybe the Sith have a couple points. But, overall, the Jedi are still good, but there's at least a moral gray area between both sides.
Throughout the prequels, the Jedi make so many preventable mistakes, and it's at the start of Episode 3 where Yoda starts to go, guys, we fucked up. But it's too late to stop it.
Don't shit on Anakin so much. Like, that's the main thing, is Anakin is literally, like, okay, the whole joke about, like, this is outrageous, it's unfair. Like, that is a good scene. My main issue with it is after the events of Clone Wars, you start to realize, granted, Clone Wars wasn't there when they wrote Episode 3.
Yeah, Clone Wars did not exist at the time.
But in context with Clone Wars, there is no reason Anakin should not be on the council and should not be a master at this point. Like, literally half of the people he meets in Clone Wars call him Master Jedi.
I disagree with that, even, honestly.
Really? He is, like, he has a lot more to learn. But, like, the issue is that
even
he
in the
is
Clone Wars,
one of the best, most effective Jedi in Clone Wars. Like, he makes mistakes and is bold in his approach. But I genuinely feel like he has at least earned the title, if it requires a little bit more training.
Well, that's the thing, because, like, Anakin always rushes in to danger without thinking, and sometimes it gets people hurt. If you're on the council, you can't do that. You have to be more measured. I'm not saying whether or not the Jedi Council should or shouldn't be measured and more restrained. I'm just saying, because of what
by their own logic
of what they are, Anakin is not that.
That's what I mean.
That's kind of the problem.
That is the flaw. Like,
that's the problem Episode 3 presents. Anakin is probably better than them, but they don't want to see it because of tradition, and so that
I also
everything.
feel like Yoda specifically is. I like Yoda, but
yeah, Yoda's great.
What are you doing? But
no, keep talking.
I agree, but hold on.
Keep talking. I want to see if I could sneak that in, so no one will get mad.
I see everything. So
yeah.
I like Yoda a lot as a character. This Bryn! I like Yoda as a character, but I feel like he is even blinded by... I wouldn't say it's necessarily jealousy. I'd say he is more blinded by the person he believes Anakin to be more than who he has actually proven he is. Like, Yoda in Clone Wars he's more dealing with, like, his own problems and also, like, the entire galaxy. Like, specifically him and Palpatine have, like, a lot of shit to deal with. And granted, we know what happens with Palpatine. But, like, from the perspective of Palpatine keeping up his ruse, he has a lot of shit as Chancellor to deal with. And so does Yoda. Yoda can't be, like, micromanaging the council while he has an entire war to wage.
Yep.
And the thing is that he hasn't been paying enough attention to Anakin, and I think the thing is that he still sees the kid from Tatooine that he basically told Liam Neeson, no, don't do this, it's gonna fuck everything up, and Liam Neeson was, I don't care, I'm bringing him to Naboo, peace.
Right.
Like, I genuinely feel that Yoda still sees Anakin as that because he has so much going on since the events of Episode 1. Because Yoda's Yoda. He can foresee things. He definitely foresaw the Clone Wars. Like,
well, no, he didn't.
Well, I mean, in the context of he knew that the Separatists were just going to keep gaining power and that the Republic, in some fashion, would have to go to war. That doesn't necessarily mean he foresaw, like, the Kaminoans being like, hey, here's a bunch of dudes.
Well, no, he figured that much out with common sense and intuition, not by using the Force. It's expressly
said... No, I know. I'm talking about just him. I'm not necessarily talking about the Force.
It's expressly said in 2 and 3 that, like, they didn't... They just hoped it would blow over, and they didn't want it to do a war, but it ended up happening.
So the thing is that he has a lot of shit to worry about. So... micromanaging the council is not on his radar. And so the Anakin problem, because Anakin was prophesized to be the chosen one, Yoda had no reason to believe that he would become a problem.
I should put some just chatting. Hang on.
Oh, probably. But Yoda wouldn't have a reason to believe him to be a problem because he is, the chosen one. Granted, the prophecy was misleading in its depiction of why he was the chosen one and how he did it. But I can understand the point Yoda's coming from, and most of the council, honestly, because they have a lot of shit to do. But by the time we get to episode 3, like, even most of them were just like, oh, whoops.
Yep.
And then Order 66 happened.
All right, so Solo.
John, did you have to Google a capybara?
So Solo. A
Thank you,
tier.
friend.
I'm fighting everyone tonight, baby.
No, I big agree. I think Solo is a genuinely good Star Wars movie and a genuinely good heist movie and a really good way to introduce, I guess, new fans to Han's character if you were watching them in chronological order. You agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think...
I genuinely think Solo... I'd argue Solo might border on S tier. I think that it is...
I agree, but I was scared to do it because
I'd say it belongs in A tier, but it is...
I'm gonna put it highest A.
It's moving its way downtown to A tier. Or S tier.
I think it's more B. Well, I think you're wrong. I'm sorry, I'm kidding.
Solo is a genuinely compelling movie that takes a character that we know and shows us where he comes from, and the movie does a lot of interesting things with like deception and like twists.
Some people in chat haven't seen it, so don't spoil too much. But
I know. I'm more saying it's worth the watch. I think that it got a lot more shit than it's deserved because of
Last
the one
Jedi.
that's F tier.
Here's why Solo is fantastic to me and belongs where it is, if not S. New Hope. New Hope, Empire, and especially Return of the Jedi. It's full of whimsy and wonder and magic. It's like this whole world, you can imagine anything happening in it, right? And like you got all the space wizards and you got all these heroes and villains clashing it out for the sake of something bigger, right? We can agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the prequels come along and they say, grow the fuck up. That whimsy, it's kid shit. Here's how it works. Here's why it works. There are no one making the right choices.
That's kind of why I like the original trilogy more than the prequels, and it's the same reason I like early Harry Potter.
Yeah, and it's like, it's all fucked. It's all fucked. And I think that tells a compelling story, but it doesn't have the same heart that made Star Wars special and unique to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And Force Awakens tried to recapture it. Unfortunately, JJ did a Control F, Control C, Control P New Hope script for the most part, so it doesn't work as well.
For what?
Force Awakens.
Oh, yeah.
Force Awakens desperately tries to recapture that whimsy.
I think Force Awakens is a good movie. I think that it is clear that they took a lot of notes from Episode 4. I wouldn't say it's an... I wouldn't... A lot of people made the argument that it's the same movie. It's not. Like, it just isn't.
I think Force Awakens is a modern movie that desperately wishes it had the heart of the older movies, but instead loses a bit of itself trying to replicate it.
I think the main issue is that we are in a post-Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker world. And I'm
gonna get there in a second, because this is still my solo argument.
I know. But the issues with Force Awakens, I think, comes down to knowing where it's leading. Because coming out of Force Awakens, when it came out in theaters, I remember I was in the bathroom at the movie theater, and I heard these guys talking, and they were probably like 50, 60, something. And they were talking about like how it brought back memories of going to see Star Wars when the movie was just called Star Wars.
Right.
In the theater when they were younger.
Like, and I saw it, I was still in high school when it came out. I saw it with school trip, and I was talking about it with some of the teachers after. I won't obviously say his name on stream. Chucky, you know him as the Learning Center guy.
Yes.
Yeah. And he was like, this movie's perfection. It's the best they could have done a continuation after all this time. And it's like, all right.
I think Force Awakens would be looked on more fondly if Last Jedi hadn't took a dump on the series.
Right. Last Jedi, the whole
Like,
point of Last
the thing
Jedi.
is, if they did something with Rey, if they did something with Poe, if they did something with Finn, like if they did stuff with this new cast of characters and have them cycle around the old characters and build out instead of contracting in on the old characters, that is the main problem with the movie. They didn't spread out. They didn't give the new characters room to grow. They basically said
Kylo was great. He had a lot going on in Force Awakens.
because he was not directly interacting with any original characters aside from, like, imagine, okay, I think we can do spoilers for the sequel trilogy, because like literally the spoiler I'm gonna spoil is the meme.
Probably.
Okay, so somehow Palpatine has returned. If Sheev was in Force Awakens puppeting,
save that for Rise of Skywalker, because we're almost there.
Well, no, I'm talking about in the
worst
context
part of all
Force.
this is John using light mode on Chrome. Leave me alone!
Yeah, turn that shit off. It hurts.
No, fuck you!
So, if Sheev had been in Episode 7, like, if the movie was exactly the same, but instead of Snoke, it was Sheev, Episode 7 would be, first of all, worse, but it would make Kylo worse because it wouldn't give him room to grow unless Adam was able to play off of Ian really well. It would be a lot harder to make his character work if those two didn't have good chemistry.
No, I agree.
The fact that we don't know who Snoke is and we don't know who Kylo Ren are plays really well because
we know pretty quick into Episode 7.
But it adds a layer of mystery to the movie. It's like, all right, who's these guys? What's his deal? But even when we know who Ben is, we don't. There's still like, all right, what's this guy's deal? Like, what's he up to? Like, we're still trying to figure out what his like master plan is, because he is effectively the Darth Vader of the movie. But like with Darth Vader, you also didn't really know what his deal was. Like in Episode 4, he's just kind of chilling out, and like he just has the Death Star, and it's like, okay, what's his plan? And he's just like, we're gonna find the rebel base, but I captured a princess. I don't know what's going on. She can tell me where shit is, but like until he fights with Obi-Wan, like we don't see him much. Like we see him walking hallways yelling at people occasionally.
Yeah.
But like we don't see him much. He's just kind of in the background. And I think that's a thing that I think is a modern movie trend that I personally really don't like. Like, have your villain be seen, but like have plenty of times where they're not seen. Have plenty of times where we don't know what's going on. Because if you're constantly cutting back and forth between the heroes and the villains, and you're seeing like him prepping an attack, and then an attack happens, there's no air of mystery, there's no surprise. It's just like, okay, well, we knew this was coming. Right. And we saw that in, I believe, Force Awakens. Wait, was it Force Awakens with Takodana? Was that Force Awakens?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like we see Kylo Ren getting ready to like destroy the rebellion or whatever, like, and then he shows up, and you're like, okay, what the fuck? And then the thing about that scene is they did the reverse. That we knew the attack was coming. The attack happens, and then the resistance shows up, and that scene's sick.
Yeah,
because you're like, oh shit, X-wings. All right, we're going in.
Yeah,
but like, yeah. I don't know. I feel like the main issue with Force Awakens comes down to the rest of the trilogy to follow, because why care about what is established in that movie if it's not going anywhere?
Yeah.
And that I think is the main issue looking back on Force Awakens. Anyway, Solo. I don't know how we got derailed there.
To get back to my original point.
Were the tacos good?
Last Jedi destroys the fucking whimsy of Star Wars. It's like, if you want to have fun, you are wrong. If you want to see
You know what
anyone
Last
make-
Jedi feels like to me?
Mm.
It was like if you were watching. Sorry, I'm on a Harry Potter kick, so it's just in my head. It's like if you were watching Sorcerer's Stone, and then immediately watched fucking
Like
Deathly
Order of the
Hallows Part
Phoenix.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, no, if you watched, actually, let's make this better. Sorry, Harry Potter spoilers. You watch Sorcerer's Stone, and the movie ends with Dumbledore talking to Harry in the hospital wing, and then the Great Hall Feast, and then you just smash cut to fucking Dumbledore's death at the end of Half-Blood Prince, and it's like, what? Like, it sucks the fun out of everything, because like it's just. I genuinely feel like episode 7 had whimsy. It did. It had a level of hope to it. Like, even look at the posters real quick. Like, I mean, they're right there.
Yeah, but I want it to be, like, bigger.
Okay. Like, look at those bright colors. Like, you have the classic Star Wars blue and red.
Yeah, man, these posters are like dime a dozen.
I really like that poster.
The poster's not that special, right?
I still like that poster. Now, look at the poster for... John, stop. I know the Aladdin poster.
And like, it's not a special poster. It's pretty shit.
I don't care. I like that poster.
Okay.
Anyway. Then go look at the Last Jedi poster.
It's all red.
It's just sad. The only like thing that isn't red or white on that poster is Rey's lightsaber. That's it.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
So anyway, the point I want to make. Solo is about Han getting out and seeing the galaxy. And it's the first time since... I would argue it's the first time since A New Hope, and maybe a few scenes of Force Awakens, where people in Star Wars feel genuinely happy to be part of Star Wars. The rest of the time, they're all like, man, everything sucks. But if you can sit there and watch the scene of Han and Chewie piloting the Falcon for the first time together, with smiles on their faces, and the Star Wars theme playing, if you can watch that without smiling yourself, I think you've missed part of what makes Star Wars Star Wars.
Honestly, I think you're just not a Star Wars fan.
I didn't want to go that far, because this is going to be on YouTube, and you know how YouTube gets, but yeah.
No, I don't care.
I care. I'm the one that gets the comments. But... but...
Then I can be as angering as I want.
Anyway, to win back everyone we've just angered... Huh.
That's a quaint little tier.
It is. It's... Alright. That's our tier list.
So here's the question. Is there a gap between C and Last Jedi? Like, is there D and F and then Last Jedi? Or is it just C Last Jedi?
I think just C Last... You know what I would do? I would put a gap between B and C in Last Jedi.
Okay, you can do that. Move Rise of Skywalker to no, you can't do that. Move Rise of Skywalker up to B, then there'll be a gap.
No, because Rise of Skywalker does not deserve to stand with these. Can I add another tier? Oh, add a row. Great.
Okay, the holiday special is Last Jedi. The Lego Star Wars holiday special, I'd argue, is a B.
This
Really?
This is how I would do it. This is my Star Wars tier list. Thank you for watching Rusty Chains.